serious dent into their chances in the AL East, dropping 3.5 games back of the Toronto Blue Jays. Tonight, Erasmo Ramirez goes to the hill for the Rays, looking to improve upon his 2-0 mark this year versus the Bronx Bombers. Tonight at Tropicana Field, the Rays' 10-game homestand marches on with the 4th game of the stand and game 1 of this series between the Rays and the New York Yankees. Hi again, everyone. Welcome to an evening of Rays baseball with Brian Anderson. I'm Dwayne Statz. It's so good to have you with us, and frankly, good to have Brian Anderson with us tonight as well. B.A., you are taking seriously that campaign that youngsters should wear helmets when they're riding their bicycles.
Playing football. I actually got out of here, was able to get over the Bucks game, get some playing time in the second half, and it didn't go very well for him. But no, you're right. As far as the riding goes, right now the scoreboard stands sidewalk 1, me nothing.
Good to have you with us. And tonight the Rays will take on the New York Yankees. They've had trouble with this Yankee ball club this year. One of the reasons, the catcher Brian McCann.
Listen, Brian McCann has tormented the Rays all season long, and it's not just about the numbers with Brian McCann. That last series a little over a week ago, 2 home runs, 4 driven in, and on the season, 318 average, very good. The on base is over 430. The 4 home runs, 15 runs batted in. These are the stats that get you. 4 times he's given the Yankees a go-ahead run batted in against the Rays. 3 times he's driven in the game-winning run. This has been a guy who's been clutch against the Rays, and he has hurt them in key spots. On the other side, Erasmo Ramirez may be the guy that's able to slow down Brian McCann and the rest of this Yankees lineup, because look what he's done in 2 starts against New York this year. 11 innings pitched combined, just 4 hits given up, and 1 earned run in building that 2-0 record. He has limited base runners, and when he has allowed base runners, he has not given them anything with runners in scoring position. They were 0 for 6 against him, and he will be looking to continue that trend tonight.
We began this open talking catchers. How about the Rays catcher? J.P. Arancibia up from Durham. He's red hot with that big bat. And Todd Callis explores the power stroke after this.
Yankees and Rays from Tropicana Field. Aaron Sebia very happy to be back in the AL East. Started his career in Toronto. Last year with Texas, now back, of course, with the Tampa Bay Rays, familiar territory for JP. And lately, he has been red hot. 5 home runs in the month of September in just 38 Major League at-bats. You see in our Toyota trend, his average, a slugging percentage over 1,000. And we talked with his hitting coach, Derek Shelton, about what he has seen from the slugging catcher, Aaron Sebia.
I think we are seeing him hit the ball hard. We've seen him hit the ball to right field a couple times with 2 strikes when people have shifted him, and I think that's a little different than things he's done in the past. He's actually taking the hits that are given to him now, which is nice to see. I mean, ball comes off his bat hot. I think we saw that from when the time when he was in Toronto. But he's made a nice adjustments. He did a good job for us when he was in AAA this year, and he's come up and he's given us a little bit of a spark.
And they haven't been wall scrapers. 3 of his 5 home runs have gone at least 400 feet, including that 464-foot bomb in Detroit on the last road trip. We're ready for baseball. Less than 3.5 minutes until the first pitch of the 3-game series between the Yankees and the Rays next.
Rays and the Yankees documented tonight. The opening game of this series will have Phantom Cam throughout this series. And for the Rays, Erasmo Ramirez heads to the mound to make this start against New York. Here is the starting lineup for the Yankees, presented by your Southern Ford dealers. Jacoby Ellsbury leads it off, then Brett Gardner and Alex Rodriguez. Ryan McCann in the cleanup spot, hitting in front of Carlos Beltran. Greg Burns at first base, hitting 6th. Chase Headley, the third baseman, 7th, with Didi Gregorius hitting 8th at shortstop, and the number 9 hitter is Brendan Ryan.
Well, and maybe this is the start that Erasmo Ramirez gets well. He's making his 24th start of the season. We already talked about his numbers against the Yankees in 2 starts this year, and coming off a road trip where a start at Baltimore and at Detroit, a combined 9 innings and 8 earned runs. So looking to get back on track here and against a team he's got a pretty good track record against. Let's take a look at the Rays defense and see how it's going to line up behind Erasmo. Brought to you by BMW. In the outfield left to right, we have Brandon Guyer, Kevin Kiermaier, and Mikey Montauk.
And across that infield, third to first, Evan Longoria, Asdrubal Cabrera, Logan Forsythe, and Richie Schaefer, with JP Arancibia behind the plate.
And with that, we are set to play baseball tonight as Ramirez, the 25-year-old right-hander, has the sign. Jacoby Ellsbury, the center fielder for the Yankees, leads it off. And the first pitch of this game presented by Pinch a Penny, and it's off the plate, a fastball. 1 ball, no strikes. Ground ball down to first, and Schaefer right there steps on the bag. 1 away.
Well, that's Erasmo Ramirez, and that is his MO. He wants early in the count contact. Get ahead, put you away. If not, he'll take a ground ball in the first couple of pitches, use his defense.
And when he's good, he does that a lot. He's averaging just 15 pitches an inning all year. And that's a big step in the right direction from the season he had last year in Seattle when he struggled and averaged about 18 or better pitches per inning.
When you get down in that 15 range, that's a sure sign of confidence and knowing what you want to do out there, getting to the point.
Which misses a bit in to start Gardner. Brett Gardner hitting .270. Two and 0. Yankees come in with 78 wins and 64 losses on the year. Joe Girardi's team running second in the East, 3.5 back. Liner into right. Matuk is there and makes the grab. 2 up and 2 down to start this one. With the bases empty, the designated hitter Alex Rodriguez approaches the plate.
Well, that's the way you want to keep it.
There's a look at the East. The Rays and the Orioles now in a tie for third.
Well, that's the one thing the Rays playing for right now. You do not want to end up at the bottom. Boston has come charging all the way back. They were way, way out of things, and now just a game behind the Rays.
Alex Rodriguez, there's a first pitch strike. Rodriguez already questioning the plate umpire, Vic Carapazza, about the location of that pitch.
Well, it was definitely over the plate. Alex Rodriguez is saying that pitch is down. He even asked him, he said, "Are you sure you didn't make a mistake? Are you saying that you didn't make a mistake?" Well, at least you get the parameters of what the strike zone is going to be.
The pitch is wide. It's 1-1. And Carapazza does skew a little bit to the pitcher. There is a school of thought that says most umpires skew to the advantage of the pitcher. And the hitters umpires are those, in large part, who don't skew as much to the pitcher. Fodder for good offseason conversation there, perhaps. 1-2 the count.
Or maybe in game.
Or maybe in game.
Maybe in.
Big cut and a little piece of that one foul, holding the count at 1-2.
You know, the one thing that we've seen from Ramirez, and we just saw it in the previous pitch, not that pitch, that was a fastball away, the previous changeup. He will use that more against the right-handed hitters. You know, that's the big weapon that neutralizes the lefties and holds them to such a low average against him, but we've seen him using it more against righties.
Pitch close.
That was one right there. And I'll tell you what, if that pitch is a little bit further out over the plate, probably gets a swing and a miss, but Alex Rodriguez recognizes it as in and takes it for a ball.
Now we go to 3-2. It's Brian McCann on deck. Tapper foul. Went off a fastball. First 2 men out. Ellsbury on a bouncer to first. Gardner line to right. 3-2 again to Rodriguez. He's had on strikes. He came back with a changeup to him. Caught the plate, strikes him out. Rays coming in to hit. The first starting lineup presented by your Southern Ford dealers. Brandon Guyer leads it off, followed by Mikey Montook and then Evan Longoria. Logan Forsythe, Drupal Cabrera, and Steven Susan Jr. down the middle in front of Richie Schaefer, Kevin Kiermaier, and J.P. Arancibia.
Well, they'll be going up against the New York Yankees big left-hander CC Sabathia, making his second start since coming off the disabled list. He went on the disabled list on August the 24th with inflammation in his right knee, came off on the 9th of September to start against the Orioles, went 4 2/3, gave up 3 runs, just 1 earned in picking up a no decision, and now faces off against the Rays here tonight.
Well, Brandon Guyer is just 1 of 17 in his career against Sabathia. Guyer's been so good against left-handed pitching. In fact, he's been in there every time the Rays face a lefty starter. And so he has some catching up to do here against Sabathia. Let's see how the evening goes. The liner, well hit, but foul. Good distance, but well foul.
Already showing you how eager he is to turn those numbers around. The first fastball in, and he was quick with the trigger. And that's the way that Sabathia has to pitch nowadays. He's not the same guy with the same A-plus stuff. He's got to rely on guile against Guyer, moving the ball around the zone. Good scouting reports.
The popper into short center. Gregorius starts out and gets there from shortstop. He makes a nice play. That's a play that back in April or May he's probably not going to make, but he's come a long way as a shortstop and went a long way for this one.
Well, in my eyes, we're on Ellsbury as that ball went up into the air. If Ellsbury was going to be able to close ground, I didn't think that Gregorius had a chance to get there. But at an odd angle and an odd angled catch, he showed you just how far he has come and making a nice play.
There's Mikey Montook. Outside. Four home runs for Montook. 1. He's wide. 2-1 to count.
Well, much like Brandon Guyer, Mikey Matuk getting a lot of playing time. The Rays have seen an inordinate number of left-handed starters here the last week or so. It's been 4 in a row, and even a few before that. Get a chance to play every day.
Saw the fastball up there and chased it.
Yeah, almost a little bit too quick, and you can see, how about that? Against the lefties, the 268 average, most of the damage.
We have a full count.
Not that much of a pitcher's umpire. That's a pitch that Sabathia wanted badly. He spotted it very well, but Carapazza, much like Fox Tracks, had it just off.
Montook is out on strikes. Missed the fastball. 2 up and 2 down.
Well, let's go ahead and set that Yankee defense for you and see how that will line up. Brought to you by BMW. In the outfield, left to right, Brett Gardner, Jacoby Ellsbury, and Carlos Beltran. And across that infield, third to first, Chase Headley, Didi Gregorius, Brendan Ryan, and Greg Bird, with Brian McCann behind the plate.
Well, now Evan Longoria will bat, and through the years, he has been very successful against Sabathia. 19 home runs so far this year for Evan, to go with a 272 average. The first pitch in there for a strike. On top of that, Longoria is hitting over 350 against left-handed pitching. One and one. GMC big matchup against Sabathia. 393 with 6 home runs off him. And now the count is 1-2 as he takes that fastball.
But that pitch was meant to be in. It stayed out over the plate. You see where McCann is set up. He wants it in. That's a dangerous pitch. That's going to allow Evan Longoria to get his arms extended, but he doesn't go after it, and Sabathia picks up the second strike.
Wide with this one. It's 2-2.
But here's the thing, too. When you get to 61 at-bats against somebody with those kind of numbers, it's no fluke. I mean, obviously, Evan Longoria sees the ball coming out of Sabathia's hand about as well as anybody in this game. So Sabathia has to be extra good against Longoria.
You know, those are the great things about this game, how a pitcher can own a hitter or a hitter can own a pitcher. And to figure out exactly why, I mean, now that's a great term paper assignment right there. Or maybe a thesis.
Yeah, we could even go bigger.
3-2. He's under it. Pops it up. Gregorius making the call. He's got it. And the Rays are up and down. 1-2-3. On to inning 2 from the Trop. No score. brought to you by Toyota. Let's go places. By Outback Steakhouse, curbside takeaway. By Morgan Auto Group. And by Just for Men, great looking hair made easy. It was a 1-2-3 first in the top half of the inning for Erasmo Ramirez against the Yankees when he got Ellsbury, Gardner, and Rodriguez. On to the second, and he faces Brian McCann, the catcher, to lead it off. Popped up, foul ball, and the Rays certainly would hope that anything like that would stay playable. That one just behind the dugout. Any chance they get to retire McCann, a good idea, because boy, he's been a thorn in the side of the Rays.
Yeah, the batting average 318. Now for a guy hitting 244 on the season, that's a nice little bounce right there, but the on base is 434, and the hits have been big. They haven't been meaningless home runs and runs driven in. They have been game changers.
Strike on the corner. Fastball catching the edge. 0-2. Shift is on for McCann.
We're not worried about your speed shift.
And there's a ground ball to the right side. Schaefer at first makes the play unassisted.
That would be the shift where Logan Forsythe would go out, shake hands with Mikey Matuk, and then assume his position.
It's about the size of it, too.
Yeah, I mean, that's what you do. I mean, if you've got a guy that puts the ball on the ground to the right side with a little bit of speed, obviously Logan Forsythe has to play closer. If you're not as worried about the speed factor, then you can play deep. That gives you more range. And that's what the Rays will do here with Beltran also.
Veteran Carlos Beltran hitting .279. Takes the first pitch, a breaking ball in for a strike.
See how deep you can get.
Line right at Schaefer. Off speed, 2 up and 2 down. You know, that curveball for Ramirez really his 4th pitch, but it can be an important pitch for him. As we saw right there, you get that first pitch strike, you're off and running.
Yep. And that's how a lot of guys will use it. If the curveball's down the pecking order, especially to the opposite side, a right-hander against a left-handed hitter, you just drop that in there for strike one. Beltran's not looking to go up there and drive a first pitch hook most of the time.
Bird lines this one, and it's going to be caught by Forsythe. The fastball, the Rays in that shift. Forsythe in shallow right takes care of that. A quick inning. Just 6 pitches. 1, 2, 3 go the Yankees, and a nice grab right there. No score. We go to the bottom of the second. Tonight we raise up for Robbie and Reading with the Rays. 11-year-old Robbie's always been a Rays fan, but not much of a Reading fan. Well, this summer, thanks to Evan Longoria and the Reading with the Rays program, he read 13 books and began the school year ready to learn. We raise up for education. How do you raise up? Logan Forsythe up here in the bottom of the second inning. Yankees put a shift on for him. A ball, no strikes, 16 home runs for Logan.
And this is the one thing. Against a right-handed hitter, you don't have that luxury of playing Gregorius way deep in left field. You never throw him out. So you've got to play that one a little bit tighter.
1-1. Drupal Cabrera will be next, and then Steven Souza Jr. Little part of the Rays order against CC Sabathia. Two now. We talked about Longoria putting together some pretty good numbers. The Rays actually run 3 hitters in a row here. Good numbers against Sabathia, starting with Longoria, then Forsythe, 6 out of 12 with a couple home runs, and Cabrera following him, 5 of 14 with a home run. Forsythe is out on strikes.
And it looked like by the swing that Logan was looking for something else, because 6 out of 12. This is an 89-mile-an-hour fastball. You can see how late the swing comes in. I mean, that's like an emergency type of hack, a ball that clearly beat him. And 89 is not a velocity that's going to beat Logan Forsythe unless he's looking for something else.
Here's Asdrubal Cabrera. Inside, 1-0. Cabrera with 12 home runs overall this year. There's the breakout against Sabathia throughout his career. Two balls, no strikes.
This Rays lineup, they are going to make CC Sabathia work. They've had good swings on him in the past. You talked about the 3 hitters in a row. He's going to really have to be on point like that.
Ground ball headed toward the right side and through. Ryan couldn't get back over there, and Cabrera's aboard with a base hit.
Yeah, that's frustrating. You're thinking that ball off the bat is going to be an out. Sabathia made his pitch, but watch Cabrera say, if you want to stay out there, I'll just stay back a little bit longer and find some open ground on the right side. That's a nice job of hitting there by Asdrubal Cabrera, and you can see how frustrating that is for Sabathia.
Yeah, Sabathia right there, not a big fan of the shift.
No. Because that's what he's thinking. This guy gives me trouble. I just made a pitch. I got him to hit the ground ball that I'm looking for, and there's nobody home.
Steven Souza Jr. So Sabathia out of the stretch. That pitch is a strike. And again, that fastball's about 89, sometimes 90, but not the fastball that you once saw from CC Sabathia.
No, he used to be able to just rear back and blow you away and then bring that slider into play.
Check swing and a hopper. This could be tough, and there's no throw. Actually kicked by Ryan into foul territory, and that's going to give Cabrera an opportunity to go to third. That ball popped up on Ryan, and then over his shoulder, and he kicked it with his heel.
Yeah, how about that? You're trying to make a play. It's going to be tough anyway because Souza Jr. gets out of the box so well. But in his haste, the ball comes free. Okay, first and second, or nope, right off the heel of the shoe. FIFA.
Now, if you could perfect that move and then control it with your heel, that'd be a great move to pull at some point.
Then you would change your name to Neymar.
So the Rays get men at first and third out of that. An infield hit for Souza. And here's Richie Schaefer. Pitch is high, 1-0. I wonder how they will account for the move by Cabrera to third, scoring that play. Right now it's just a hit.
Stolen base, probably. That seems to be the
Why not?
popular way to go. The guy moves up.
Could be a wild kick.
I'm going with this Drupal Cabrera triple.
So the Rays with an opportunity. And Schaefer's ahead in the count. Three and nothing. Rays saw Sabathia back in May. Got 4 runs, 3 earned off him in 7 innings. Schaefer takes a strike. It's 3-1. Yankees eventually won that game 11-5.
He has not fared well against the Rays since coming over to the Yankees.
Well, that's for sure. Just 6-13 against the Rays in a Yankee uniform, and he has just loaded the bases.
Well, and if you're thinking left on left here, that could happen. You see what since he's become a New York Yankee. There's the record you're talking about, that ERA almost 4.5. Opponent's average doesn't jump out at you, but it's been effective. They've been good with runners in scoring position. A lot of walks.
Well, the bases are loaded now on the walk to Schaefer, and they did give Ryan an error, allowing Cabrera to advance to third base. So that's the 4th error of the year against Ryan, who is an excellent infielder, as you probably already know. That's the first error of the game. So Cabrera is at third, Souza at second, and Schaefer at first. And the matchup is Kiermaier against Sabathia. Sabathia has been pretty good against lefties this year. They're hitting only 191 off him.
Well, he wants to get ahead of the lefty and then start breaking out the slider. That's the game plan.
And he misses inside to Kiermaier.
Well, and here's the thing, too. Kiermaier getting these opportunities to play against all these lefties. Used to seeing them at this point. And you're thinking about a double play ball here for the Yankees. Good luck getting it on Kiermaier.
Ground ball to first. They're going to come home, and he drops the ball, but on the exchange. So they get the force, and McCann, taking it out of his mitt, dropped it. So the bases will be loaded with 2 outs right now, and Kevin Cash is out in front of the Rays dugout awaiting word from the video room.
Well, this is all because of the speed of Kevin Kiermaier. Brian McCann knows that he doesn't have a whole lot of time. So catch and go. There you see the ball under the glove, the foot's on, and then as he goes to pull it out and make that throw down there, you just don't have a lot of time. And this may not have even done it. Even if he comes out and throws, Kiermaier still is probably going to beat that out. But it does come loose. I don't think there's anything to see here.
And with a potential run at stake, Kevin Cash wants to take a good look at least at the video to get some input there.
And guess what? It couldn't be. It might be more about where the foot was. You know, the exchange, yes, but don't look at the whole play. Was the foot on home plate?
Yeah.
And it was. But yeah, it's worth a shot for sure.
So the Rays did review their own video, and they will not.
How close that is. I mean, that's close. That foot coming off of home plate as the ball's into the glove. Very close.
Does the neighborhood play count at the plate too?
You know what? The rule manual on replays, I was not able to bring that up here today.
JP Arencibia.
I was carrying that with me.
Cut the miss, strike one.
It was in the basket in the front of the bike.
Gotcha. Dog-eared now. Well, a big spot for the Rays catcher, JP Arencibia. Bases loaded, 2 gone. High fly ball into left. And Gardner's there waiting for it. The Rays get a chance, but leave them loaded. We go to the third, scoreless. Stop improving, and he tops the list in the American League. Righties there against lefties at 193.
And when you look at the names on that list, you start to think about the secondary pitches. Estrada with the changeup, Sonny Gray, changeup, slider, curveball, McCullers, the good curveball, and the changeup. Those are the pitches that these righties will use to neutralize the lefties.
And a breaking ball in for strike one to Headley. So he's dropped that over a couple of times to get ahead. Did the same thing with Beltran last inning. Now the fastball fouled back, and just like that, it's 0-2.
Yeah, well, and then guess what? Now he can go anywhere in the zone, and he has that changeup still in reserve that Headley hasn't seen here tonight.
Ball, 2 strikes. And he starts to go and checks on the pitch in. 2-2. Still hasn't thrown him the changeup.
This may be the time to do it.
Fouls back that pitch.
Well, it's been, here's that curveball, strike one, and then fastball, just one after the other. A couple to crowd him. That one Headley's able to fight off. You get a hitter to start to speed up his swing. Oh, just missed it.
So we go to 3-2.
That's the frustrating pitch. You say, you know what, I've been pounding the guy with heaters. I've sped him up a little bit, thrown some close to him. Now the changeup is set up perfectly, and you yank it right into the dirt.
He got ahead. Now it's full. And he strikes him out. Came right back with a changeup. Picks up his second strikeout of the night. Both have come on to change.
Well, he's yanks the one and says, I know how to make the adjustment. And if I do, I'm going to get that.
Now it is Didi Gregorius, who comes into this game hitting .270 with 9 home runs and 52 runs batted in. The fastball's on the inside corner for a strike.
You know, he carries himself differently than he did early in the year. He walks around like a guy who's confident in all facets of his game right now.
They tell me this pitch is down and in. The big difference, and we certainly saw it both in the field and at the plate. But through the course of the year, the Yankees gave him a routine. They implemented how to prepare for a game. They thought early in the year he was sort of lost, and the pressure of following Derek Jeter at shortstop in New York. And Jeter showed up at one of the special days they had at Yankee Stadium and chatted with him, and they think that had an effect on him. So put that away. That's what Jeter did, has nothing to do with what Gregorius can do, and they implemented a program for him. So he's got a little better idea.
And he's out there every day. You know, he wasn't the everyday guy in Arizona.
Yep.
And so you implement that program because you know, hey, this is the guy. And so we need to get him into a routine, because it's not going to be, well, you've had a rough couple of weeks, we're going to pull you out of the lineup. No, you're our guy, and we're going to ride you. So we need to get you a routine that will work. And obviously the numbers show that he has taken to that all around, at the plate, in the field. Better base runner. You remember all the base running gaffes early in the year?
Everything he does now leading up to a game has a purpose. He is out on strikes. Fastball up. 2 up, 2 down.
Ramirez able to sneak that by him with pretty good velocity. 93 up and away. And you just cannot get on top of that pitch. Look at the eyes on the target, and then here comes the arm. You think about the torque that you put on an arm, and apparently your lips as you deliver those balls to the plate.
Brendan Ryan. It's a strike on the outside corner. Cutting them in, 0-2. High fly ball into left. Geyer's there waiting for this one to drop right into the glove. 1, 2, 3. Go the Yankees, and we head into the home half of the third, scoreless. photo, use hashtag SS DataStrongFan, and you just might see yourself in an upcoming broadcast brought to you by T-Mobile. Top of the order for the Rays, so they've gone through the lineup once. Left the bases loaded in the second inning, and here's Brandon Guyer to begin the home half of the third. One ball, no strikes. First time up, Guyer popped out to Gregorius, who made a nice play running into shallow center field, angling out from shortstop. Two and one.
Well, these are the kind of counts that Rays hitters would like to find themselves in. Force CC Sabathia out over the plate. That's where they can start to do their damage against him. If they let him live around the fringes of the strike zone, he's got a chance to get deep with little damage. But you got to take advantage of those pitches like that. Brandon Guyer got a pretty good one to get extension on and just missed it.
Two balls, two strikes. It's a chopper foul on Charlie Montoyo. It's Mikey Matuk on deck. Sabathia coming off the outing against the Orioles when he pitched 4 2/3 and a no decision. He left that game leading 3-1 out after 4 2/3.
Sabathia, after the second start of the season, his ERA was in the 5s, and it has stayed there all season long. Just has not been able to move it very much.
That's ball 3, full count. Came into this game with a .516 earned run average. Guyer fouls it, forcing another pitch. So far in, 8 pitches here in this at bat to Brandon Guyer.
Good start. Now make it count. Find your way on base somehow, some way. Leadoff man aboard, second time through the lineup.
Hot shot outside of third. Nice play down there in the bullpen. And that will advance this into a 10-pitch at bat.
Well, there's no Jeremy Guthrie to impede his progress.
Popped up. Bird at first. And one away. So 10 pitches. Finally the first out for Sabathia.
Picked a good time to come in. Those swings by Guyer, and I think Sabathia recognized it too, looked to be more and more comfortable on the pitches that were middle of the plate away. So all of a sudden he comes in and is able to get the jam pop-up. That's the way that Sabathia has to pitch nowadays. Big difference from a few years ago.
Mikey Matuk. Matuk went to 3-2, struck out on a fastball in the first inning. 2 strikeouts for Sabathia through the first 2. Now 1 out in the 3rd. Took aggressive on the changeup, chasing it.
Well, you know, and you've got the veteran out on the mound. Fastball in for strike 1, middle in, then changeup away. Now you've got a hitter, a young hitter up there thinking, what now? I mean, another changeup, another heater in. You can see, look at Brian McCann telling him, I want this thing out there.
And it was. And he did not chase this time on the changeup.
I love when catchers do that. You know, we've talked a lot about it with Rene Rivera. I love when they're, you know, they want to pitch, okay, fastball away, but I'm gonna slap the inside of that leg because I want it way out there. I'm giving you even further instruction than just the pitch in the location.
And he comes back in with a fastball and strikes him out.
I mean, that's a veteran pitcher sequence. Fastball middle in, strike 1, change up away, strike 2, take a fastball off the plate, get him leaning out there. Oh, this is that fastball right here. Wants that pitch in, so you walk him off the plate, then you come back up and in. You start him there and end him there. That's outstanding work by Sabathia.
2 up, 2 down. Here's Evan Longoria. And to center field. Ellsbury is right there, and it's a 1-2-3 inning. On to the 4th. No score.
Do for Michael Johns, his staff and players down in Port Charlotte, Florida. The Charlotte Stone Crabs last night, guys, wrapped up the Florida State League Championship. Brett Honeywell with 6 innings of 2-run baseball in the bullpen with help from that catch by Brandon Getzman. Shut down Daytona the rest of the way. Then Kian Wong with the bases loaded, 13th inning, a walk-off walk, and the celebration was on. The Stone Crabs win the 2015 Florida State League title. Back to you.
Jacoby Ellsbury leading off the 4th inning and takes a breaking ball for a strike. No score. Yeah, how about the Stone Crabs?
How about that?
Yeah.
You know, that's nice to be able to play for something and win a championship. I don't care if it's an A ball, rookie ball, wherever it is. That's why you play. You might obviously you want to move to the next level, but while you're there, let's win something.
Yeah, it never hurts to have that sense of winning in your minor league organization.
Playing in big games,
yep.
You know, the playoff games, games that matter. that's how you get used to those types of things.
Hey, speaking of matter, Taylor Motter. That's the guy I'm going to keep my eye on for the winter and when we go to spring training.
Well, that's because you've got a little cheat sheet. I've already heard it.
I'll tell you, he had a great year at AAA, and he played everywhere, played all over the field, and he hit in every spot in the order from top to bottom, 9 spots. Well, he's tailor-made for how the Rays love to do things.
Tyler.
Yeah, he's tailor-made.
Matter,
Yeah,
perfect.
there
Play
you
on
go.
words. No, if that's not a Ray, I don't know what is.
Yeah.
Play every position and hit in every spot in the lineup.
Yep. And he had a great on-base percentage. Taylor Motter could play shortstop and plays everywhere. I think he's about 25 years old. It's about time he made a move to the big leagues. And he'll be interesting to watch next spring.
When do I have to pick my guy? Apparently you've just thrown out the gauntlet.
Anytime you want. Hey,
Okay.
we have 20 games left, counting this one.
Yep. I'll come up with somebody. I'll come up with somebody before the homestand.
Okay. That's a strikeout of Ellsbury. 10 in a row retired by Ramirez to start this game. And 4 of them on strikes.
This is the slider. This one acts more like a big cutter. You see how it doesn't have a whole lot of depth to it, but it covers a lot of ground. And it's able to get underneath the swing there of Ellsbury.
Now Brett Gardner. The strike. Gardner started the night at 270. Close, but a ball. And it's 1-1. Into center field. Kiermaier will go back, not yet to the track, and he makes the catch. Gardner right back into center off that fastball.
Listen, Brett Gardner will hit some home runs. He'll hit some home runs on the road. But if you're going to go out to center field here, you've got to catch it flush with great carry. And that ball jumped off the bat, but you saw how much room Kiermaier had to work with.
Yeah, in this ballpark, you're going to have to hit it really well to center for 2 reasons. It gets spacious out there, normally not going to carry all that well. And then you've got Kiermaier out there to boot. Alex Rodriguez bounces it foul. That's a strike.
So you're saying, dead center's 404.
Yeah.
You're saying you got to go at least 408 to 410 to get it out, because 407 would get brought back.
That's right.
I'm with you.
Alex Rodriguez went to 3-2 and struck out the first time. 0-1 the count. Now Rodriguez stepping back. Ramirez ready out there. Took a shot at the corner with a fastball and missed. And that fastball is something extra at around 93.
We've seen a number of those from Ramirez. I think this team, this start, means a lot to him. And so he has been showing some good velocity on the heater. No doubt about it.
2-1.
And you remember that start in Baltimore where he struggled. Tried to change the slider. We know, picked up on the fact that he had shortened it up and it really became too small and very hittable. He's going back to the sweeper. Seen that here tonight.
Well, it was working before. Now he's behind Rodriguez 3-1, and Aaron Sebia trots to the hill.
Well, you just got to be careful here. When we go back, the 2 starts that Ramirez had against the Yankees, 11 innings, 4 hits, 1 run. It was a solo shot by Alex Rodriguez. And so in this count, you want to make sure that you're smart about what you do.
Yeah, Rodriguez now 1 of 6 against him, and that hit was that home run. Three-one pitch, and it's low. Rodriguez draws the walk.
Remember the first pitch of his first at bat was in that same general area and was called a strike. I think that's why Ramirez has a smirk. This was the pitch called a strike that Alex Rodriguez was not very fond of with Vic Carapazza. That time it's not.
Well, Ramirez thinking it was worth a shot there. 3-1. First base runner comes on a 2-out walk, and here's Brian McCann. And a strike barked out by Carapazza. McCann bounced out to Schaefer down at first. He's to open the second inning, hitting here in the fourth. 1-1 now. Little number. Longoria with a lot of time, and he makes the play on the left side of the infield there. The lone man over there. No runs, a walk, and a man left. We're through 3.5. Rays coming in to hit in the fourth. No score. Sunday the 20th, see the Rays take on the Orioles, and all kids 14 and under receive a Rays knitted cap while supplies last. For tickets, call 888-FAN-RAYS or visit RaysBaseball.com. Rays up. Logan Forsythe will open the home half of the fourth. Cabrera and then Souza Jr. against C.C. Sabathia. Pitch is a strike. Ball, 1 strike. Sabathia, among left-handed pitchers, is 24th on the all-time wins list. He has 212 wins. Ground ball third. Headley goes to Bird, and Logan is the first out. Sabathia one behind Mark Burley, who has 213. Here are his numbers: 212 and 128. 448 starts.
That's incredible, and what a great winning percentage.
And fourth among active pitchers in wins. Cabrera is going to be out now, third to first on the first pitch. So a couple of quick outs here. You know, he had that 10-pitch at bat against Geyer in the third and wound up making only 15 pitches in that inning after a 10-pitch at bat by the first hitter.
Well, yeah, and 2 outs into the fourth of just the 53 pitches, 20%, almost 20% coming in that one at bat.
Steven Souza Jr. It's a foul ball, 2 up, 2 down here. And active pitchers and wins. Tim Hudson has 221. Bartolo Colon 218. Then Burley, as we mentioned, 213. And next Sabathia with 212.
Well, and the way that he has continued to develop over the years, you know, flamethrower with a good slider. Then he developed that changeup, which took him to the elite level of starting pitchers. Now he started to lose some of the stuff, some of the velocity, and so he's had to remake himself more of a finesse lefty now.
2-1 to Souza Jr.
And that's the journey that you'll make if you're in the game long enough. You'll develop, you've got great tools, you'll develop 1 or 2 more, ride that out, and if they start to flag a little bit, then you've got to make do with what you do have.
2-1. That's going to be a foul ball just outside the line. A broken bat and a foul ball will take the count to 2-2. Yeah, Sabathia back in 07 won the Cy Young Award pitching for Cleveland. See how close that came to being a double. So he's got the Cy Young Award and all those wins, the 4th winningest active pitcher right now.
Well, and one of the better teammates you could ever want to have. Really is into the whole team concept, wants everybody to do well. Just a great guy.
Full count. Really not much going. The Rays had the bases loaded with 1 out in the 2nd inning and left them that way. It's the only scoring opportunity either team has had. The Yankees have had just the 1 base runner, the 2-out walk to Rodriguez in the top of this inning. Souza cues it foul.
Well, and if Sabathia wants to come back in with the fastball, he can, because that was meant to be in. He left it down and away. Souza fouls it off. Souza has no idea that that ball was meant to be in, so that could still be the element of surprise here, especially after the pitch away. And they just went through all the signs there.
Well, he went 3-2 with Geyer in 10 pitches. Got him on a pop-up. 3-2, and there is strike 3 call. Souza trying to coax the walk. Instead is called out on strikes. We're through 4. New York nothing and the Rays nothing. Right at the bottom of the zone. Saturday after the Rays take on the Orioles. Come see Sister Hazel's hits all for you and change your mind. For more information and to purchase on-field wristbands, visit RaysBaseball.com. Carlos Beltran takes a strike. Popped up. That'll reach the stands. Back of the dugout. Beltran line to Richie Schaefer in the second inning.
Well, for Ramirez, it's been efficiency. It's been a lot of good counts and very sharp pitches. All three of them.
Ball, 2 strikes. You know, we talked about Gregorius, and he carries himself differently. And I would think that if you talked with someone with the Seattle Ball Club a year ago about Ramirez and they watch him today, they'd say he does the same thing.
Yeah, could not argue with that at all. Absolutely right.
Opposite field, Geyer just to the track and makes the catch. A towering fly ball that carried to the warning track to the opposite field there by Beltran. One away in the 5th.
Well, and that's what sustained success will do. And that's what Ramirez has done. I mean, outside of the very beginning of the season. And if you just go back to the middle of May, that's when he was put back into the rotation for good. Had a start or two before that. But since the middle of May, I mean, he's 10-4 with a 3.23. And so he's got a formula that works.
And he throws a strike to Bird. Bird hit the ball hard his first time up and lined out to Forsythe. Rays have the shift on for him once again, and Logan is out there in shallow right again.
Well, it's going to be 3 hitters in a row with the same shift between McCann, Beltran, and now Bird.
Want to play the other way. One out, bases empty. A little piece of that one. Foul ball off Aaron Sebia. So he'll walk that off. Yankees beginning a 9-game, 10-day road trip, and it's an interesting trip. They're here to play the Rays, then they go back to New York to play the Mets over the weekend. And a cut and a miss. Bird out on strikes in front of the change. 2 up, 2 down. So they'll actually be back in New York over the weekend. Then they go to Toronto,
which is just across the border. So right here is their most difficult leg as far as travel goes, down to Tampa, into St. Pete to play, and then right back home as part of that road trip. And you can't see it right now, but I am giving air quotes. I'd love to have a road trip where I slept in my own bed.
That's pretty good. Henley fouls it back. It's now 1-1. Ball, 2 strikes. 2 outs, bases empty, 2-2 the count on Chase Headley. Ramirez got ahead of him the first time, went 3-2, and eventually got him swinging on a changeup. A little tap. Ramirez off the mound, and he takes care of that. Got him on a change this time, a little tapper, and 1-2-3 go the Yankees. Through 5-0 for the Yankees, with the exception of the walk back in the 4th to Rodriguez. No score. Epic deals by Grow Financial. Don't go through life, grow through life. And by Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. Richie Schaefer leading off the inning for the Rays, takes the first pitch for a ball. Schaefer reached on a walk his first time. Shift not on for Schaefer, but Ryan shaded toward the middle at second base. Schaefer with 3 home runs and a double. He shoots it down the left field line. That's a foul ball.
He almost hit the hook right out of that. That ball was hit so hard that by the time it started to move, you were thinking maybe it wraps around the foul pole. Not quite.
Targeting that landing sign out there, the 162 landing. Foul. Sharply hit. It's a 2-2 count.
Would not be surprised at all to see Sabathia go with the changeup. Richie Schaefer in the last couple of fastballs has really flown out of there up the third base line with some very strong swings, very strong contact. This may be the time to drop it.
He gets him looking on the breaking ball.
Well, you know what? Just as effective. He went off speed, saw the swings on that last couple of fastballs to get to 2 strikes, and then all of a sudden he's going to break out. This is the pitch that ate the Rays up yesterday from Rich Hill. that backdoor breaking ball that you give up on, and it comes back and catches that outside corner or close to it, and you end up getting the call. That was a pitch that the Rays just could not solve from Rich Hill yesterday, and a reminder there.
Kevin Kiermaier takes a strike. Rays got singles from Cabrera and Souza Jr. in the second, and a walk to Schaefer, and loaded the bases, and that's been it for them. 1-1. Back to third, out of play. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Baltimore has a 1-0 lead at home over the Red Sox, with Boston hitting in the top of the 5th inning. Cleveland leading Kansas City 3-1 in the top of the 5th at Cleveland. No score here at the Trop. Bottom of the 5th, Rays and the Yankees. Just a bit of that one to stay alive on a foul ball. Detroit, Minnesota in the bottom of the 1st. In Minneapolis, scoreless. A little tap right side. Who's going to cover first? Nobody. And Kiermaier is in there. That's going to be a base hit for Kiermaier.
Well, the only chance that Greg Bird had was to charge this ball. I mean, you had to charge it all out, try to field it, and tag him as he ran by. He's just going to outrun the baseball.
No chance to get Kiermaier.
You see, he was well wide of the bag, not wanting to be tagged if that was even going to come into play. And so then you got to slide back, and in true first base fashion, you just continue on down the line then.
Cut by Aaron Seabee on a changeup on the first pitch. Strike 1. So the Rays have their 3rd hit of the game.
They've got good speed on the base pass. Sabathia has only allowed 4 stolen base attempts this season. He does a real nice job of controlling the running game.
One hopper to second. Out at second and out at first. 4-6-3. Kiermaier had to hold up to see if the ball would be caught on the line. And Ryan plays it into 2. Ryan Gregorius to Bird. We're through 5. No score.
Well, he came in. We highlighted his numbers against this team as a starter this year. They were off the charts, and he has just continued to pitch well against them. Everything's been sharp. That's the thing. The fastball has been good. Both sides of the plate, good velocity. He's been back to sweeping the slider, and the changeup, of course, has been good to both lefties and righties, and that's why you see this line.
65 pitches, the only base runner, the walk to Rodriguez in the fourth. And a first pitch strike to Didi Gregorius to begin the sixth inning. Through 5 innings, he had faced only 16 hitters. And 14 of 17 now in first pitch strikes. That's a big part of this story.
Yep. Just in complete command of almost every at bat, and a lot of 0-2s.
Well, he got ahead of Gregorius back in the third and got him to chase a fastball up out of the zone.
We could be setting him up for the same thing, staying with off speed here. A few off-speed pitches in a row, you start to slow a hitter down a little bit, and then all of a sudden that 93 jumps on him, and you can put it in just about any spot you want because you're up 0-2. They're going to come in.
Fly ball center field. Kiermaier makes the catch. 1 out in the sixth. And that will get the second baseman, Brendan Ryan, to the plate.
Second baseman, Brendan Ryan.
Ryan out on a fly ball to left his first time. And that's a strike. Chase there. Very nice slider. That's a hard slider right there for Ramirez.
He's just back to throwing it. He's not trying to tinker with it. That's the one that we've seen for the most of the year. That sweeping hard slider that just gains so much ground. And you know what? You use that pitch, you can go right back to it. I mean, Brendan Ryan swung and missed at that slider by plenty, as we saw in that slow-mo shot. Nice to have options, isn't it?
It sure is.
I'll take this one.
Just off the plate.
And Aaron Sebia called for the slider first. He's thinking the same thing here. Let's go with this thing away. And Ramirez shook to the changeup. Let's see what they go back to here. Now the count is even. Wants that slide ball. Still doesn't want to go out there with it.
And a cut and a miss. He got him on a fastball.
I mean, so you had the catcher call slider, Ramirez shake to changeup, and then Aaron Sebia calls slider, Ramirez shakes to fastball. Those are the options we're talking about. You got a lot of different ways you can try to get this guy out.
Yeah, boy, that was a nice pitch that moved in that fastball to pick up his 6th strikeout of the night. 2 outs, and here's Jacoby Ellsbury. And a cut and a miss. Ellsbury right now, nothing of his last 19. 206 since the break. Upstairs, it's 1-1. Fly ball left field. Geyer right there, and a 1-2-3 inning. Through 6 innings, the only base runner for New York. The walk to Rodriguez.
Sagicor Life Insurance Company and your Tampa Bay Rays are proud to present Sagicor's 72 age.
Tires Plus donates $100 to the Pediatric Cancer Foundation. Brandon Geyer is going to open the bottom of the 6th inning. Geyer, Matuk, and Longoria due up.
Now would be a good time to make that donation.
The pitch is a strike. Well, Geyer, as we discussed earlier tonight, has had his issues with Sabathia. He's been so good against left-handed pitching, but this is one left-hander who has really given him problems.
What was it, 1 for 17 coming in now, 1 for 19?
Yep. And he's behind in the count already.
And we've seen a number of uncomfortable swings. You know, right there on the changeup. You remember the last at bat when he struck him out. Oh, excuse me, I'm thinking of somebody completely different. But anyway, earlier in the count, the fastball that was by him away.
Into center field. Ellsbury's there to make the catch.
And that's a great example on when things are not going well against a pitcher. You don't take advantage of his mistakes. That was a fastball meant to be in, and Sabathia threw that one right down the middle, and it ends up being a fly ball to center, as opposed to most of the time we see Geyer hammer that ball somewhere into left field. Watch where this pitch ends up. Watch where McCann sets. Watch where it goes. Oof. You'd like to see that one again.
Mikey Matuk. Pitch is wide. 1-0. Matuk, did he go? He held up. The appeal, Ron Culpa down at first says he checked. 2-0. It's pretty close.
And usually that doesn't go Matuk's way v. Sabathia.
Now 3 balls, no strikes.
Maybe that's the break that the Rays needed. A call that could have very certainly gone against them, making the count 1-1. Now it's 3-0. Need a runner.
It's a strike, 3-1. Evan Longoria is on deck. You'd love to see him up there with a man on.
Having Sabathia have to pay attention, although he's been doing that for a long time, understanding how to control the running game. But you're right, get him out of the stretch.
Chopper to third. Headley gloves and cannot get rid of it. Montook is aboard. Headley found himself waiting back.
You pick which hop you want to go after, and you realize on this particular play, you're going to have to hurry your throw. Okay, you're going to take it, now set back, wait, now get it, throw. And as he tries to do that quickly, that ball comes popping out of the glove, and the Rays do get that base runner. Just never able to grab that ball clean.
An error charge to Headley, his 21st of the year. So the Rays have a base runner with one out for Evan Longoria. Evan is 0 for 2. That's the ball inside. Evan has gone out to the shortstop and a fly ball to center to Ellsbury his last time. Good lifetime numbers against Sabathia. It's 1-1. Rays had a base runner with one out in the 5th. And Aaron Sebia hit into a double play to end it. Montook at first, one out in the 6th inning. Strike 2 out there. Off speed, taken.
Trying to make perfect pitches, and right now that's what he's done. Up and in, the changeup away. You still have to do it again.
Popped up, shallow right. Ryan out there from second base makes the catch. 2 gone.
Well, I'll tell you what, we have seen Sabathia pitch tonight to both sides of the plate. The fastball in, he goes to the changeup away, then he comes with the backdoor breaking ball. 3 different looks on 3 different pitches, and he gets the pop out to his nemesis, Evan Longoria.
Now with 2 outs, the hitter is Logan Forsythe. Forsythe has struck out and grounded out to third. And a fastball catches the outside edge. That's a strike. Just 3 hits in this game. Cabrera, Souza Jr., and Kiermaier. Montook presently at first, reached on an error. It's upstairs, 1-1. Scoreless game. Two and one. Well, the Rays missed an opportunity in the 2nd, and you don't want to miss many opportunities in the early parts of games against the Yankees because of that bullpen.
That's right. And you know, how many times have we seen that happen? Now, the Rays have been better offensively, there's no doubt about it, but that's something earlier in the year that came back to bite them far too many times. There's those early in the game opportunities, and you're right, the bases loaded with 1 out, you don't get much better.
Foul back, that's out of play. Now 2-2.
And as far as the bullpen goes, right now you're seeing 2 bullpens square off that have they're the 2 highest strikeout bullpens in the American League, and the Yankees have 520 strikeouts coming out of their pen. The Rays 2nd in the AL at 460. So they've got a 60 strikeout lead. That bullpen right there.
And Sabathia with a man on, taking his time here against Forsythe. Count holds at 2-2. Well, the Yankees, they take a lead after 6 innings. They're 59-2.
Okay, well, then here's the plan of attack. Don't allow Yankees to take lead after 6. Got it. Sending it down.
All right. Rays trying to get something going here. Montook on the move, and that is a ball. Very close there. Sabathia thought he had a strike, and so did Forsythe.
That is the giveaway. That's the dead giveaway. When Forsythe starts to go, even he thought it was a strike. Boom. Okay, no call. Look at Logan. Oh, really? Okay, I'll take another step or two back. And that could be an absolutely a huge call, or no call, because now Montook out at second base. Logan Forsythe can just flip one in somewhere, and the Rays chance to take a lead.
Yeah, well, you can see the location there a little off, but boy, everybody on the field seemed to think that was a strike except Vic Carapazzo.
That's right. And listen, when the hitter concedes, I think he thought it was coming. Now he's got new life. Let's see what he can do with it.
And Montook winds up at second. Ground ball. Shortstop Gregorius up with it. Throw to first in time. And that retires the side. We're headed into the 7th. No score.
He had a torn meniscus in his left knee, but he is making some progress on his road to recovery. He threw his 3rd bullpen today and plans to throw a simulated game on Thursday. So this means he is hoping to make a return before the end of the regular season. He did say he is a little sore still when he's doing some things. We'll see how it feels tomorrow after throwing today. So some good news coming out of the bullpen.
Yeah, he'd like to come back just for a little peace of mind and get active before the season ends, going into the offseason and with a look toward next year. We go to the 7th inning. Erasmo Ramirez on the hill. Brett Gardner in the batter's box. Gardner takes the first pitch up. So far, the only base runner for New York was a 2-out walk to Alex Rodriguez in the 4th. So 1 walk and 6 strikeouts for Ramirez tonight. a strike. It's 1-1. This is the first time that Ramirez has ever gone beyond the third inning without allowing a hit. He had 3 innings against Baltimore back in September of 2012 and Houston in August of 13. Now 2-1 the count to Gardner. He has Gardner, Rodriguez, and McCann to deal with here in the 7th inning. All 3 down and in, 3-1.
Like to stick with that no base runners theme, especially a leadoff base runner with good speed.
Comes back with a strike. Full count, 3-2 to Gardner. Did he go? He did not on the appeal down to Tom Woodring. So a leadoff walk in the 7th. Second walk given up by Ramirez, and only the second base runner.
And that was the right call. Brett Gardner did not go right there on that pitch below the zone, and now you do have that speed out on the base paths. And Jim Hickey out here just going over a little game planning with Rodriguez and Gardner over at first.
Keep up with the pennant races in true HD quality on MLB.TV. Watch every out-of-market game live in HD on more than 400 devices with MLB.TV Premium, the #1 live streaming sports service. Real-time highlights, live look-ins, pitch tracking widget, and more every night on every device. Visit MLB.TV for details. And we want to pass along a happy 90th birthday to Phil Weiser, a big Rays fan out of New Jersey. Started as a Philadelphia A's fan, then the Phillies and the Yankees, and the Rays his favorite team since their beginning, and he's here tonight, 90 years young. Brett Gardner's at first base. Alex Rodriguez at the plate. Rodriguez, the other base runner, when he walked in the 4th. Takes a pitch inside. So the Yankees, for the first time tonight, have put a leadoff man on. Only 2 base runners, and this the opening walk in the 7th to Gardner.
Gardner 18 out of 23 stolen bases, only 4 attempts off Ramirez, much like Sabathia. And Ramirez really over the course of his career has done a nice job controlling the running game for a right-handed pitcher. That's not always easy to do.
Ball 2. Fastball. Rodriguez 1 of 6 against Ramirez. That hit a home run. And he has drawn a walk tonight. Runner goes. Pitch hit on the ground is short. Safe at second and out at first. Cabrera took a shot, but with Gardner breaking, he got there ahead of the attempted force play. So the Rays get Rodriguez at first, 6-4-3.
Yeah, runner going, and as Drupal Cabrera, why not take a shot? You know you've got Alex Rodriguez running, so you can afford that opportunity. Obviously doesn't work out because Gardner, good speed, he's already there. And Forsythe completes that play to get the 1 out. But now the Yankees, runner in scoring position, just 1 away.
First time a man has reached second base tonight against Ramirez.
And keep your eye on Gardner. I mean, we talked about the stolen base. Look where Evan Longoria is playing. He's way off the bag at third. This could be a race to the bag, so you've really got to keep your eye on him here. That's why Cabrera is holding him basically.
Brian McCann at the plate. And if they do make a play in third, you've got a moving target if you're Aaron Sebia, trying to throw the ball to third and Longoria to get there.
You channel your inner quarterback. 'Tis the season.
There's a shot back into right. Montek will go to the wall. He leaps and makes the catch. Gardner had gone to third, go back to second. They double him off. Gardner had gone within 10 feet of third and tried to get back to second. Montek, a great catch in right, and the throw back to second doubles him up to remove the base runner. What a catch. And get a load of the throw to double up Gardner.
Right field arm. One hop, plenty of time.
We go to the bottom of the seventh. Still no score. What a catch by Montek. Didn't look good off the bat of McCann.
No, it looked like another McCann special, what he's done to this Rays team. But Montek a heck of a play and then showing off the arm. Gardner not able to get back. That ball was whizzed in there, and Ryan McCann livid.
So the Rays still have the only hits in this game, 3 of them. No runs at all. Cabrera leads off the bottom of the 7th inning, taking the pitch for a ball. Mikey Montek with an outstanding play on the catch and the throw. Two 2-0. Sabathia with 93 pitches. Cabrera has 1 of the 3 hits in this game when he singled back in the 2nd. He's 1 for 2 out third to first his last time up. Two and 1. Steven Souza Jr. next, and then Richie Schaefer due. Weston Wilson up in the bullpen, the lefty. Cabrera does have a career home run off Sabathia. 6 of 16 off him. That tapper will take the count to 2-2.
That's the one thing that Sabathia has been able to do here tonight, is when he's fallen behind, he's not panicked, and he's been able to get back into these counts by making high quality pitches when behind in the count. That's not always easy to do either.
Erasmo Ramirez in the Rays dugout, hoping his teammates can get him a run or two. Ramirez has given up only 2 walks. Those are the only 2 base runners through 7 innings. Sabathia has given up 1 walk and 3 hits. And a foul out of play holds the count at 2-2. Rays had the bases loaded with 1 out in the 2nd, left him that way, left a man on base in the 6th. It has been Ramirez and Sabathia all the way tonight. Battling at bat. Another foul ball. Pushing the pitch count close to 100 now for Sabathia. It's his 2nd start since coming off the DL. In the other start, he made 85 pitches against the Orioles. Cabrera sends a high fly ball into center. Ellsbury is there waiting for the first out. That's going to get Steven Souza Jr. up there. Here's what's coming up tomorrow on Rays Live, the pregame show presented by your Gulf Coast Honda dealers. Jake Odorizzi's going to be on the hill for the Rays. We'll hear from him. He'll be opposed by Adam Warren, and Orestes and Doug will break down Brett Gardner, who we just saw doubled off second base by Mikey Matuk. Here's Steven Souza Jr. One ball, no strikes. Souza had a base hit in the 2nd and was called out on strikes in the 4th. First pitch, 2-0.
Doing a nice job of laying off a couple of off-speed pitches. CC Sabathia trying to entice him to go after it, get an easy, quick out.
And up front, 2-0.
Just
change
not,
up.
yeah, not at this point willing to give Souza Jr. a fastball. It's been breaking ball, change up, another change up. Now, if you're Souza, you got to be wondering what could he possibly come with now. You're going to come with another one.
And that's wide. Boy, he's been right around the zone. 3-1 now.
Yeah, and for a guy that has been pounding the zone, you see this change up here. Boy, oh boy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
close.
It's been tight, man. I tell you, that's a good pitch. Carapazza, look where he's set up. That pitch down and away is far away from him.
That will take the count to 3-2. A full count. Sabathia to Souza. And he's out on strikes. Came back with the off speed. Changed up on him and picks up the strikeout.
Boy, I'll tell you, both starters with their A stuff here tonight. A ton of off speed. One fastball, 3-1, and then how about going right back to the 3-2 changeup and getting the strikeout.
Two outs, base is empty. Here's Richie Schaefer. Schaefer has walked and has been called out on strikes. Soft away off the plate, 1-0. But boy, Sabathia, he has been all around that corner, and in a couple of cases maybe on it, and didn't get a call. Schaefer up, 2 balls, no strikes.
Well, for Sabathia, you start to wonder how much is left. 107 pitches. He's been very, very good. These are the counts that he's been able to work around. He's had a number of 2-0 counts, but has made pitches to get back into it.
And Schaefer, 2-0. He was fired up with that big swing, and the changeup runs the count to 2-1.
It never gets there, and that front hip leaks a little bit down the third base line because you're looking to pull for power.
Fouled back. 2-2.
Well, and now 2-2. You've got the changeup down and away. You can come with that breaking ball, a fastball in. I don't think you would do that. Not with Schaefer the way he's heading out of there. Let's see what they try to decide upon. Got back into the count. Another 2-0 to 2-2. Couple of fake shakes.
And it's wide. Stayed soft away with a change.
And no reason to believe he won't do it again. And he may do it with the breaking ball. He's gotten Richie Schaefer on that pitch before.
You got him looking in the 5th on it.
Started off the plate, break it to the corner. Let's see if they do that as opposed to the changeup. No, they're going to go right back with the change and look for the swing.
And it's off the plate. 2-out walk. 2 walks allowed by Sabathia. Schaefer's drawn them both, and Joe Girardi comes out to make the change.
Now entering the game for this call to the bullpen, for New York,
And for a chance to be featured in an upcoming broadcast brought to you by T-Mobile. CC Sabathia departs after 6 2/3 and 111 pitches.
It couldn't have been much better. I didn't know what to expect out of CC Sabathia, reinventing himself, but he was so good at staying out of the middle of the plate, even when he fell behind. And that was what was most impressive. 2-0 counts where he was able to get back to 2-2 and then make pitches to get outs. He was outstanding and not real happy maybe at the end of the day with that strike zone of Vic Carapazza.
Well, Justin Wilson, the lefty, follows him to the hill. And the first pitch to Kevin Kiermaier is a fastball, 94 for a strike. There's the line for Sabathia tonight, 6 2/3. A couple of walks, 6 strikeouts, and 3 hits. Foul the other way, 0-2.
Justin Wilson, very similar to what you see out of Jake McGee or any Romero for that matter. I mean, a lot of fastballs, good velocity, and it's just one after the other. You see 54 strikeouts in 52 innings. He gets used quite a bit.
One ball, 2 strikes. Squares the count. We have a scoreless game in the bottom of the 7th. Rays left the bases loaded way back in the 2nd inning. They left a man on in the 6th. No runs, 3 hits, a couple of walks. Erasmo Ramirez has limited the Yankees to only 2 walks through the first 7. Two to Kiermaier. Kiermaier had an infield hit down the first baseline in the 5th inning. And there's a line drive base hit into right. Schaefer rounds the bag and decides to hang on there. And with 2 outs, the Rays have 2 men on.
And what Justin Wilson ended up doing was allow Kevin Kiermaier to time him up. He jumped out ahead of him with 2 fastballs. Then he missed. This is the 5th one. And he's seen now nothing but heaters. And he's able to kind of gauge the speed. He gets a flat 4-seamer and ropes it into right field. And the Rays another shot.
Kiermaier's 2nd hit tonight. This one a liner off the lefty.
And you know what? Is it me or do you like this matchup right here? Aaron Sevilla against Wilson with the straight 4-seamer. I mean, this sits up well. He knows what he's going to get.
Yeah, both parties know what they're going to get here.
Yeah, I mean,
a big cut and a miss on that first one. Well, you get the fastball and you get the big cut.
That's it. And just speed up the swing just a little bit. 94 miles an hour gets it by him. Got to do it a couple more times, though.
Coming in, Aaron Sevilla with 5 home runs in 38 at-bats. 1-1 to count. Schaefer 2nd, Kiermaier at 1st. A foul ball. Mid-90s fastball. Another big swing. Braves have stranded 4 with 2 outs. They got the walk from Schaefer and then the base hit by Kiermaier. Popped up foul. That's going to be out of play. Well, Wilson has gone 94, 95, and 96 with these 3 pitches, the last 3 we've seen. And it's a 1-2 count.
Does he have any more? Can he go up 1 more? Because it's, the same thing with Kiermaier. Aaron Sebia able to see some of these fastballs, try to time him up a little bit, get it started a hair sooner.
Again, the 1-2 upstairs. 95. Now the 2-2. And a swing and a foul tip strikeout. He went 96 to get him. 1 tick up the ladder. We're through 7. No score. Summary brought to you by Gold and Diamond Swords. And you are seeing correctly. New York 0-0-2 for the Rays. 0-4-0. Sabathia is 6 2/3 of 3-hit baseball. Erasmo Ramirez only 2 walks through 7. And Carlos Beltran leads it off. Takes the first pitch for a ball. Beltran hit the ball hard his first time on a line. Caught by Schaefer at first and then sent the ball to the warning track and left in the 5th inning. .90 pitches for Ramirez here. 2 pitches into the 8th. There's a strike and it's 2-1. Down to first, and it takes a big hop off the right shoulder of Schaefer and a base hit into right. He hit the ball hard again to first, and this time He got it by Richie Schaefer.
Well, they had him defensed properly, and we've seen them do this before, but this ball by Carlos Beltran was stung. One hop, and it took a bad hop. It came up on Richie Schaefer. He didn't have a shot. You could see right there. Did not have a chance.
So for the second time in the last 2 innings, the leadoff man is on for New York as Beltran picks up the first hit given up by Erasmo Ramirez. 7 no-hit innings for Ramirez tonight. And now the Rays with a full-scale conference on the hill led by Jim Hickey.
They're going to bring in Rico Noel to run. Good speed. But yeah, you can't put any of the fault on Richie Schaefer on that play.
Your attention.
A line drive one hopper that took a bad hop and came up high on him. He didn't have a chance. Watch. He's going to go down. Okay, I'm going to play it here. Uh-oh. Look out.
Noel, the pinch runner. Greg Bird is the hitter. Pitch is wide. Bird is lined out and struck out. Foul back, 1-1. So a pinch runner for Beltran. Rays get action in the bullpen. A 1-1 count on Bird. Move to first. Noel back in. Runner goes. The pitch, one hops and is knocked down by Cabrera. A stolen base for Noel.
And he got a good jump. Ramirez doesn't give up too many stolen bases, just 2 out of 4. Good jump. Aaron Sevia is just going to have to go from the knees, hope for the best, and still not able to get him. I mean, even if that throw is corralled by Cabrera, they're still not getting Noel.
So the Yankees, for the second time in the last 2 innings, have a man at second. 2-1 to count to Bird. It's popped up, third base side, foul. Longoria is after it, and he'll make that play. And a nice job by Evan to get down there near the bullpen.
And a nice job by the Rays defensively. You had Erasmo Ramirez and Asdrubal Cabrera covering third base, which is what you have to do when your third baseman vacates, just in case there's a tag.
See Longoria running a straight line. You see Ramirez over there along with Cabrera. It's Chase Headley. That's a strike. Betances up in the bullpen for New York. Colomé up in the bullpen for the Rays. And to right center. That ball will be caught by Matuk. He's trying to get rid of the ball, and it drops on him, and over to third goes Noel. Well, he made the catch and then had a difficult time getting it out of the glove cleanly and into that throwing hand.
Well, that's what allows Noel to go back and tag up, and then there were thoughts about maybe trying to score. This ball ripped into the gap. Matuk has a beat on it, and you're right, clear catch. And just as he comes up, let's see if that glove hits the knee as he pops up. Right Nope, just the hand goes in, the ball squirts free.
You can see Noel moving, and boy, can he move. And that's going to be it for Erasmo Ramirez. Boy, what a great job he turned in tonight, and he'll get a good hand. 7 2/3 for Ramirez. No-hit baseball for 7 innings. Responsible to his line. He struck out 6, walked 2. Yankees' second leading offensive team in the American League. They're second only to Toronto in runs scored. And so a great job by Erasmo Ramirez. And now he leaves it in the hands of Alex Colomé against Didi Gregorius. The first pitch is a strike. Tonight's Cold Hard Facts brought to you by a clean, crisp Coors Light. Last 19 appearances for Alex Colomé. Look at that. 29 1/3 innings. 33 strikeouts, and 5 bases on balls.
1 earned run.
Down and in. It's 1-1. Yankees with the pinch runner Noel at third, 2 outs. Close right there, but a miss, and it's 2-1.
This looked like a pretty good pitch here from Colomé, right at the knees on the outside corner. And again, another close pitch.
Yeah, that's a perfect pitch,
It
actually.
is. Yeah. I mean, kneecaps, outside corner.
Big cut and a miss. 2-2.
There's that split, that changeup. He can throw it right out over the plate. Let that action, let the change of speed do its work. Nice pitch to be able to go to when you're down on the count, 2-1.
And he strikes him out. Aaron Seabia's throw down to first to complete the putout, and the strikeout ends the top of the 8th. So 7 2/3 scoreless for Ramirez. No scores. We go to the bottom of the 8th. Well, he had a number of them through 7 innings of no-hit baseball.
Well, listen, a great play here by Mikey Matuk. A lot of times he really didn't need a whole lot of help. He was sharp with all 3 pitches, both sides of the plate. The changeup was good. And here's that one hit. Bad hop off of Richie Schaefer. You see him going down the field. That ball comes up high on him. That would be the only thing that Erasmo would give up. What an effort.
So we go to the Rays half of the 8th inning, and Wilson cuts that first pitch, and it's foul back. Slade Heathcott taking over in right field. Beltran lifted for the pinch runner. One and one. Dyer making the start against the left-handed starter. CC Sabathia was 0 for 3 against him, and now faces a hard-throwing left-hander in Justin Wilson. Back into the screen. 1 and 2. Rays will have Geyer, then Mikey Matuk and Evan Longoria due up. Pop back of first. Bird after it, but it will carry out a play. It's 1 and 2. Ramirez with a 7 2/3 tonight against the Yankees now. Has pitched 18 2/3 innings, allowing 5 hits and 1 run. That was the home run by Alex Rodriguez back on July the 5th.
Well, he's got their number. He's got the formula. The Yankees have not been able to make an adjustment against him, and I don't know if it would have mattered here today. He was that good with his location and pitch selection.
Geyer fouls the fastball back. Good 90s fastball. Rays have not scored a run in 21 innings now. 13 innings yesterday, 7 tonight, and the final inning of the game, the middle game of the series against Boston. Foul out of play. Still 1 and 2. So this would be an opportune time in the bottom of the 8th in a scoreless game to score.
And long overdue. Long overdue.
Fly ball into left. Gardner will come in and make the catch. That'll be the first out here in the 8th inning. Tomorrow's starters presented by Chevron. Jake Odorizzi goes to the hill looking for his 8th win, opposed by right-hander Adam Warren, who is 6 and 6. Well, when you look at the body of work of Jake Odorizzi this year, it should be much better than a 7 and 8 record.
For the longest time, it may still hold true. He had the worst run support average in the American League.
Mikey Matuk pops it up. That's a foul ball out of play.
Got way too many runs last time out. Had a big lead to work with. That's what got him that 7th win. That and some very good pitching.
Matuk did reach on the air in the 6th inning and picked up his first stolen base. Ground ball, that's going to go through the left side. Montook is aboard here in the 8th, a 1-out single. And that will get Evan Longoria up there.
Well, able to get the head out, find a hole on the left side. Nothing fancy, just very good placement. And that gives the Rays that base runner here 1 out with the big gun at the plate.
Evan 0 for 3 tonight. And just one official at bat against Wilson. He's 0 for 1 against Wilson. Facing him for the first time in this game. Fouls it back. Continues to get the hard stuff. That one at 96.
Man, nobody warming up down on the Yankees pen. So this is Justin Wilson's inning. At least the next couple of hitters. Nobody stirring.
Brad Boxberger loosening in the bullpen for the Rays. The Rays with a runner. Upstairs, Rays had the bases loaded with 1 out in the 2nd inning and did not score. We had a runner at second. That was Montook in the 6th that could not get him home. Left men at first and second with 2 outs in the 7th and left those 2 on. A foul ball, a fastball working its way in.
Did that hit him in the hip? Hey, we see these balls get pounded off the foot, sometimes the back leg. This one did not feel good, as you could tell by the reaction of Evan Longoria. But you're right, fastball in. Let's see where he gets himself. Oh, I mean, in the quad. How do you do that? The back one. That's a first.
It's a ball, 2 strikes. Took over at first. Get through the coaching box. Ground ball foul. Still 1-2 to Evan. Two and two. CC Sabathia worked 6 2/3. Made 111 pitches. Giving way to Justin Wilson, who got credit for a 1/3 of an inning in the 7th. 1 on, 1 out in the 8th. Longoria is out on strikes.
Little variation. The cut fastball. We've seen the regular one right around 95. This one's going to be in that 92 range, and watch the cutting action. Fingers on the side of the baseball, and he cuts it right down and in and is able to pick up the strikeout. That's a big time pitch by Wilson.
Well, Logan Forsythe is due up. Larry Rothschild, the Yankees pitching coach, goes to the mound. Forsythe 0 for 3 tonight and has a couple of at-bats, 0 for 2 in his career against Wilson. Saturday, MLB on Fox returns with a Subway Series as the wild card leading Yankees take on the NL East leading Mets. Then the AL Central leading Royals square off against the Tigers in a game you can see only on FS1. Coverage begins at 12:30 p.m. Eastern on Fox and 7 p.m. Eastern on FS1 and streaming live on Fox Sports Go. Took reached on a base hit to left. One ball, no strikes. Baseball missed on the opening pitch to Forsythe. Checks for ball 2.
That was another cutter.
Come on, Dustin, let's get the batter.
There's a long one to left. Back to the track, and that ball's going to be off the top of the wall. Montauk hitting third. They're going to wave him around. He will score. The throw loose, and that heads to the backstop. Forsythe will go to third, and the Rays take a 1-0 lead. Logan Forsythe comes through off the top of the wall, and Montauk scores from first. 1-0 Rays.
Well, the ball looked good coming off the bat. It didn't sound as crisp as we've heard before. That ball a little bit on the label end, and that's why it didn't get out of here. But well struck nonetheless. It's going to hit that padding at the top, bounce up in the air, and of course, I mean, with 2 outs, Montauk's going to be sent, and the Rays take the lead.
Double by Forsythe. He headed to third on the throw through to the plate that skipped away. Rays lead 1-0, and a pitching change coming for New York now here in the bottom of the 8th inning. Forsythe with his 30th double of the year. Took. And now as Drupal Cabrera is at the plate, and he faces Caleb Cotham, with Forsythe winding up at third on the 3rd error of the night, charged to New York. Cotham on for the 6th time.
Boy, wouldn't an insurance run be nice here?
Foul ball puts Cabrera behind in the count, 0-2. Forsythe picking up his 59th run batted in, driving in the only run of this game. Inside. 1 ball, 2 strikes. The Rays get a run off Wilson. 3 hits off him. And Cabrera extends the at bat with that foul ball. Did he go? Oh, yes, he did. And Cabrera not happy with Tom Woodring's call there. So the Rays settle for 1. Logan Forsythe driving home Mikey Matuk. This ball game heads into the 9th, and the Rays carry a 1-0 lead into that 9th inning. Pop for just 79 cents. By Just for Men, Mustache and Beard, your best beard ever. And by your Gulf Coast Honda dealers. Logan Forsythe giving the Rays the lead with a big hit in the bottom of the 8th. We're headed into the 9th. Brad Boxberger will take over. Colomé got a strikeout to end the 8th. He's the pitcher of record, and now it's Boxberger.
Well, on for the 62nd time and looking for that 35th save. 69 strikeouts in 56 innings, so still that ability to put guys away. And looking for 3 more outs here for the Rays.
Well, Dustin Ackley will pinch hit for Ryan. Brendan Ryan lifted, and Ackley fouls the first pitch away for a strike. It'll be Ackley, then Ellsbury and Gardner due up. That one dropped a little low. He started to go and held up 1-1. into center. That's in there for a base hit. Cut off by Kiermaier to get the ball quickly back in towards second base. Ackley is aboard. One on, nobody out. Let's check in with Todd Callis.
Joined immediately after the game. It's the Rays Live post-game show presented by Checkers. We'll talk about Erasmo Ramirez. Brilliant night here from Kevin Cash. Emily Austin gathering interviews in the Rays clubhouse. I'll be joined out on our set by Orestes Estrada and Doug Wechter right after the game, guys.
We'll look forward to that. The Rays hope sooner rather than later here as they hold this 1-0 lead. And the Yankees have put the leadoff man on in the ninth. Here's Jacoby Ellsbury. Down to first. Out there. Tag play at second. Out there. Rays get the double play. 3-6. So on the first pitch, Ellsbury bounces into the double play.
And how about Richie Schaefer? Not getting a ton of time down at first base, but boy, he looked like a seasoned vet here. No hesitation. I'm close enough. Let me take the out, and then watch his bullet. I mean, just turning fire right on the money to his Asdrubal Cabrera. Boy, that is well done. Right over the top. Nice job.
Yeah, that's a difficult play to make.
Doggone right it is. I'm telling you, that is a veteran type of play, throwing that ball with a ton of confidence.
So the Rays get that big double play immediately after the base hit, the pinch hit single by Ackley. Nicely done. And here's Brett Gardner. Got around his feet. Gardner walked in the 7th inning. One of 2 walks given up by Erasmo Ramirez, who pitched 7 innings of no-hit baseball tonight. Finished going 7 2/3 and giving up 1 hit. 2-0. Aaron Sebia makes a visit to the mound.
Oh, and you're just out there getting Brad Boxberger back under control just a little bit and letting him know, listen, we are 1 pitch away from victory. And you can make that right here.
Upstairs, 3-0. Alex Rodriguez on deck. And ball 4. So with 2 outs, Gardner walks. His second walk of the game.
Now see where Aaron Sebia is set up, outer half. And see how he reaches outside of his body right there. A lot of times those pitches, even when they are a strike, that one appeared to be, a lot of times they don't get called.
Now Boxberger against Alex Rodriguez. Rodriguez 0 for 1 in a straight matchup with Boxberger. 0 for 2 tonight with a walk. Pitch is down.
Never a dull moment around here.
No. That's right. Right down to the wire. Runner goes. The pitch is a strike. And into second, Gardner.
Well, he got such a big jump. This was uncontested. And now in scoring position. Never stops, kind of still. Now he goes, and that's just too big of a jump.
One to count. into right center field. That's going to go to the wall. Gardner's going to score the tying run, and Alex Rodriguez is now at second base. The two-out walk kept it going, and now the double by Rodriguez. It's tied.
Well, he stays back on a four-seamer away and just slaps that ball. No, did more than slap it. Drove that ball out into right center field. That brings Gardner home easy after the steal.
Chris Young is running at second. The Rays are going to walk McCann intentionally. So Young the runner, and McCann has just been walked intentionally. Rodriguez has tied it.
Right fielder,
Slade Heathcott, who entered the game in right in the 8th, will bat in the 9th. Fly ball into left. Geyer's going to go back, and that ball is out of here. Heathcott on the first pitch hits a 3-run home run. With 2 outs in the 9th, New York puts up a 4 spot.
Didn't waste any time. Got a four-seamer thigh high away, and Slade Heathcott got into it. That ball jumped off of his bat into the front row.
The 2-out walk to Gardner starts it. Heathcott delivers the big blow, a 3-run home run. Pitching change coming. That's it for Boxberger.
That ball is just below the belt away. That allows a hitter a better chance at reaching for it. And you better believe this team is fired up. Down to their last out. And they have come roaring back with 4.
Bird against Riefenhauser. First pitch is a ball. So 4 runs, 4 hits on the night. And 3 of those hits in this inning to go with a couple of walks. One of those an intentional walk. One and one the count to Bird. One ball, 2 strikes. Two and 2. Foul ball. Good home run by Heathcott, his second in 18 at bats now for New York. And the count is full. Foul up the right side. Ball 4. So a 2-out walk. Bird heads to first. And the third baseman, Chase Headley, will turn around to hit from the right side. First pitch is a strike. One and one. Fly ball into left. It's caught by Geyer. So the double by Alex Rodriguez tied the game. Slade Heathcott hits the home run. A 3-run blast to make it a 4-1 game. opposite field home run. Stephen Drew's in the game to play second base. And on the mound, Andrew Miller.
Well, look at the numbers. 32 out of 33. 83 strikeouts in 53 innings with an opponent's average of just 150.
Steven Souza Jr. sends one up the right side, and that's going to drop foul. Strike one. Oh, 2 now. And there's strike 3 called on Souza. That's the first out here in the bottom of the 9th inning.
Andrew Miller, tall, lanky, gives you some deception, sweeps the breaking ball, and can power the heater. Boy, does he ever, right there.
First pitch is wide to Richie Schaefer. Schaefer a cut and a miss on the fastball. It's 1-1. Two balls and a strike. Well, what started as just an outstanding effort by the Rays pitcher Erasmo Ramirez. 7 2/3 of one-hit baseball, 7 innings of no-hit baseball, and then he left. The Rays managed in this scoreless game to get a run. That came in the bottom of the 8th, and with 2 outs in the 9th, it all came unraveled. That's a strike. The count is full.
And how about the play by Richie Schaefer to put the Rays in that spot?
Yep.
You know, a chopper right to him, tags first base, great throw to second. You figured at that point it's a done deal, but a 2-out walk, and then 4 runs later.
And strike 3 call. Schaefer not happy with that one. He's called out on strikes, 2 gone.
You're just fighting and trying to do anything you can to get on base. You need 3 runs. And he comes with that sweeping breaking ball. Richie Schaefer saying in off the plate. Fox Tracks would tend to agree. Not calling the fastball in there, but he gets the call there on the breaking ball.
Now Joey Butler will hit in the place of Kiermaier. That's a strike. Two. Now Andrew Miller being the typical Andrew Miller he has been. A couple of strikeouts and now ahead in the count on Butler. One and 2. Count still a ball, 2 strikes on that foul ball.
And I would imagine that swing by Joey Butler on that fastball and how hard he hit it foul, you're going to see that breaking ball again here. going to go back, challenge him with another heater. McCann wanted the breaking ball.
And a swing and a miss. Miller at 96 on that fastball strikes out the side to end this game. New York with 4 runs in the 9th inning with 2 men out. Comes away with a win. 4-1 the final. New York over the Rays. Kaufman the win. Boxberger the loss. We'll be with you tomorrow with the second game of this series. Our coverage begins at 6:30. For Ron Anderson and the rest of our crew, Dwayne Statch, hope you've enjoyed the telecast, if not the outcome. Rays Live, the post game presented by Checkers, is next.